There is no sound for folks joining via Zoom.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Madam Chair. Today, Reverend Dr. James J. Minnick is with us. He's the senior pastor of Mount Pleasant Missionary Baptist Church, and that's over right by 94 on Moross. It's committed to communicating God's word clearly and with the application to today's culture. A lifelong resident of Detroit, Pastor Minnick literally grew up in Mount Pleasant Missionary Baptist Church, affectionately known as the Mount, and has been a faithful member and integral contributor since joining as a teenager under the leadership of the late Reverend Colasso Stewart. With a vision mandate to spread the gospel to the world since 2001, James Jason Minnick has faithfully served the Metro Detroit community as senior pastor at Mount Pleasant Missionary Baptist for 23 years. Anointed and Holy Ghost filled, he was licensed to preach in 1997 and ordained 2 years later. A staunch advocate for education, especially higher education, he practices what he preaches and holds a dual bachelor's degree in business management and theology, a master of theology degree and a doctor of divinity. He also served the Detroit community as an administrator for Detroit Public Schools, when we used to call it Detroit Public Schools, where he retired as executive director for the student transportation after 23 years of service. Dr. James J. Minnick has been married to the love of his life, Tara, for 30 years, the father of his daughter Maya, her husband Brian, and the joy of his life, his granddaughter Brooklyn. I also want to mention, because I live in the neighborhood, a few of you might be interested. This is the home parish of the Parks family that still attends. And that would have been Mary Lou Parks, was a member of that church forever. So, Reverend Dr. Minnick, love to hear from you here, sir. And thank you for coming.
Thank you. Good morning to our chair and to Councilman Klein. Thank you so much for the invitation. Let us all bow. Almighty God, we come before you today with hearts filled with gratitude and for the opportunity to serve the people of Wayne County. We thank you for the responsibility you've entrusted in this commission and ask for your wisdom and guidance to strengthen as they carry out the work of the day. Bless each commissioner, leader, and staff member here with clarity of thought and vision. Help them to remember that the decisions that they make impact the lives of those that they serve. Give them the courage to act with integrity and the compassion to serve with the fairness and justice. We lift up every citizen of Wayne County, especially those that are in need, and pray for their efforts. And we also ask that we promote the unity and progress of the common good. Guide this body of commissioners to work together in harmony, setting aside personal agendas for the greater welfare of our community. As we convene this session, we ask, oh God, for your peace that will rest upon each and every one of us, that you light us, give us a light on the pathway that you'd have us to go. And may everything that's done today be done decently and in order. In the holy name of your righteous name, we pray, amen.
Thank you so much, pastors, for those very inspiring words. Next item, please.
Reading, correcting, and approval of the journal.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun.
Move for approval.
Been moved. There's support. Moved and supported by Commissioner Haydus. Any discussion on the journal? Any discussion on the journal? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no opposed.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. Next item.
Report from the chair.
Okay, thank you so much. As you know, a couple of weeks ago, we had a cyber incident here in Wayne County, and I've asked our Director of Technology to come and give us a status report on that. Hector, if you are here, if you could please give us a status report on that incident.
Thank you. Hector Roman, CIO, Director of Information Technology Department. So yeah, I can give a high-level update. So we noticed suspicious activity within our network the morning of Wednesday, October 2nd. We immediately contacted a security threat response team that we had on retainer. We also contacted state and federal law enforcement officials for assistance. Working with our partners, we were able to identify, contain, and remediate the threat rather quickly. We prioritize restoring public-facing systems, or public-facing services and public safety systems. And we've also been continuing bringing on additional systems online since then. Last week, we received an all clear and began reestablishing connections to the state and other various vendors that do business with the county. I would like to say that our email system, SharePoint, OneDrive, Fusion was never impacted at all. And also the election system was never impacted throughout this incident. I would like to thank the administration, elected officials for their support and patience throughout this entire process. We have implemented additional safeguards to prevent this from happening in the future, and we are continuing to straighten our cybersecurity defenses.
Thank you. I'm sorry, did you mention that everything is up and running now, or are we still in the process?
We're
And if it's
still in the
not, when do you
process.
think it'll be ready?
We are still in a process. We still have a few systems that we are working on. We anticipate, hopefully within the next few days, those systems are up and operational.
Thank you for that high-level report. I'm going to also request, as I spoke to you about, presenting to our Government Operations Committee, just so we can get a little bit more details at that time. I know there's still a criminal matter, so we may have to go into closed session to have some of those conversations. So we look forward to having that during our Government Operations Committee.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, next item, please.
We're on page 2 of the agenda, unfinished business. There is none listed. We're moving to offering of all petitions, ordinances, resolutions, and presentations. There are 2 items listed on the agenda. Item number 1 is a resolution by Commissioner Bell declaring October 2024 as National Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Okay, thank you so much. As you know, just stated, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It's recognized every October. It reminds us here in this country that ending the threat of domestic violence can be done with one single act. The campaign this year is Heal, Hold, and Center. It stresses the importance of working together to embrace the many cultural ways we can heal from violence and oppression, us to commit to holding space for survivors, and to center those most marginalized in all of our efforts to end domestic violence. I am going to open up the board after we vote on this, but I'd like to move this for approval if I can. Is there support? Support. Moved and supported by Commissioner Clark Coleman. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none.
Motion carries.
Are we able to open up the board, or should we ask commissioners to raise hands? Raise your hand if you'd like to be a co-sponsor on this, please.
Co-sponsors duly noted. And that's all commissioners in the chamber.
Thank you so much. Next item.
Item number 2 is a resolution by Commissioner Bell recognizing November as Family Court Awareness Month.
Right, I move it. Commissioner Scott supports it. All right. I was asked to bring this forward to our honorable body as because November is Family Court Awareness Month. The mission of Family Court Awareness Month is fueled by the desire of a family court system that is trauma-informed and educated on domestic violence. So I would like to move this, and it has been moved and supported by Commissioner Scott. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Anyone wish to abstain?
Motion carries.
Okay, again, if you would like to be a co-sponsor, please raise your hand.
Co-sponsors duly noted. That's all commissioners in the chambers.
Thank you so much. Next item.
We're moving to reports from committees. Report A is from the Committee on Economic Development. There are 4 items listed on pages 2 and 3 of the agenda.
Okay, and just to remind our audience here in the chambers and on Zoom that we operate in committee and all of the items before us today have been vetted through our committee process and they come here to full board for final disposition. Commissioner Haydus?
Thank you, Madam the Chair. I like to, first of all, recommend to withdraw item 3, then have item 1, 2, receive and file item 4 for approval.
It's been moved by Commissioner Haydus. Is there support?
Board.
Supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Baidoon. Any discussion on the items on the Economic Development Committee? Any discussion on Commissioner Kenizik?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't expect I'll be the only one, but if the Chair of Economic Development would be open to it, I'd love to be a co-sponsor of item number 4, please, or a sponsor of item 4.
Mr. Colleen?
Here, and on item 4, why is there a delegate authority granted here? Why isn't it just a straight up grant that we send directly to the people? Why is there a delegated authority here for the county executive?
Is there someone from EDC? Or housing?
Good morning, Tuesday Redmond, Director of Community Development. The Community Development, CDBG, CV, these are funds from 2019 when we received the COVID funds. At that time, we were given delegated authority to move on the COVID funds. And so all we're doing right now is reconciling to see what funds we have left that are available, and we're redirecting them to the Focus Hope for food distribution, as well as operation in the city of Inkster for $100,000.
Oh, it's the source of the funds
Yes, it
that
is.
gives us, okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you. Are there any, Commissioner
Wait a minute.
Council?
Through the chair to this honorable body, Commissioner Killeen, so this is consistent with the original approval. You know, historically, the commission delegates authority for the administration to enter into the agreements related to CDBG after you approve where the fundings are going and you know the project. In this case, we are approving now before you the moving of the money. They will then execute and have delegated authority to move forward with the agreements. This is consistent with our historical practice.
Thank you, Council. Any additional questions on the Economic Development Report? Are we able to vote by tablet now? Okay. All right. Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item, please.
We're on Report B from the Committee on Public Services. There are 11 items listed on pages 3 through 7 of the agenda.
Mr. Marecki?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move items 1 through 11 for approval. And I would like Commissioner Garza to be the maker of the motion on number 8, and Commissioner Haydus being the maker of the motion on number 9 and 10.
Moved by Commissioner Marecki, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Baidoon. Question, Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The question I have, in Redford Township, there's been a lot of issues with the drainage, as well as overall roads, trees, just lots of issues. I was wondering, is there a annual road inspection? I don't know what that would be or when that would be, if there is. Is there anyone to talk to that, or?
What item is that, Commissioner?
This is item 1, as the road report. Complaints. And I do want to thank you for Steve Shea for all that you're doing. You're doing an excellent job. I'm just trying to understand how we go about assessing roads and, because there's been a lot of issues with drainage in Redford Township, and we're getting tons of calls, so.
Good morning, Commissioners. Steve Shea, Division Director, Wayne County Roads. So to answer your question, Commissioner McCormick, you know, what we do is usually a few things that take place when we assess roadways. One is that we receive complaints from the public. Two, we receive complaints from commissioners. And three, we have our own wish list through our district managers. So once we compile all that information, we go out and we assess the road using PACER ratings. That's a scale from 0 to 10. 0 is failing and 10 being excellent. So according to our 10-year asset management plan, we've been looking at roadways that are between 4 and 5, which is the kind of a fair and good condition roadways to continue maintaining the lifespan of those roadways. So we had shifted from going from really bad roadways to a fair and condition, like I said, just to continue the lifespan. However, once we do get those complaints, we usually evaluate it and we'll put it on our resurfacing program. If it matches our evaluation and what we come up with.
So in order for roads to be considered, they at least have to be a 4 or 5, and
It doesn't really have to be that, Commissioner.
Okay.
It's all based on our evaluation of the roadway.
Okay.
You know,
And the evaluation takes place when again?
You usually do them is prior to the starting of the season. Like right now, we're finishing up the 2024 paving season here, hopefully within the next 30 days. So this is the time to start putting them in now so we can get those roads in for the 24-25 paving season.
Okay, and does that work the same with drainage? Because
Yeah,
there's
I
a
mean,
lot of
drainage, no.
drainage.
Drainage is whenever there's an issue, we'll get an SR through our command center, and then we'll go out and have one of our personnel look at it and evaluate what's needed.
Thank you. Well, if you can have someone look at the and assess or reassess the roads in Redford.
Just send me the complaints and then
Okay.
I'll go
Well, we
out.
do.
Okay.
Every month there's, I think, at least 300-400 complaints, and I was just wondering how you go
So we're
about.
picking up our ditching program now. We had a contractor previously that we terminated their services because they didn't want to do the work. So we brought it back in-house and now our crews are taking over and we're moving along pretty good.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Commissioner.
I have Commissioner Anderson, then Commissioner Kleen. You're on.
Thank you, Madam Chair. While Steve is here, I once again wanted to, I guess, sing his praises as to what he's doing. He's doing a great job, and thank him for what he's doing. We really do, and I know you're not with the tree trimming and that, but we have, a lot of issues with those around, and he's always been very responsive. But I think that's really all I have on public services, other than the fact that we have, I know there's, I have under this agenda item, but it's not Steve, Mr. Shea. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask the question, Madam Chair, on number 5, about the number of generators that we still have on buildings that don't have sufficient generators of their own. I know for years, it seems like we've been limping along and renting generators one after another. Some of the court buildings, I believe the Health and Human Services Department down on Van Born Road. I believe, but if there's somebody could speak to that, how many of those that we are renting, that are in this lease agreement? Because I know that is, I think HERC, I believe, is one of the companies that we had been contracting with, as well as vehicles that HERC rentals. Is there anyone that could speak to that?
This is number 5 on the agenda.
When we have extra dollars, I think we should be replacing the need to are eliminating the need to rent unless it's emergency basis. That's all.
Morning to the chair, co-chair, and commission body. My name is Daryl Jones, Facility Director of Maintenance.
Good morning, Greg Hurst, Director of Facilities Management and Planning.
So Commissioner Anderson, this additional equipment we normally rent is based on the heavy-duty equipment that we do not possess in our facility maintenance department. It's additional equipment that's always needed, such as the new CJC. We have high-riser buildings that we use additional equipment for rental. Unfortunately, a lot of times we're not able to get that rental equipment from Rose Division, so therefore we have to utilize Hurst Rental as that process in order to get things done. And that's particularly what it is. It's nothing to do with chillers, anything like that. Any chillers that we do, we own right now, and it's based on necessarily of a heavy-duty equipment.
So we shouldn't see any more rentals for generators unless it's an emergency that can't foresee.
We never had rentals of generators. Basically, we own 2 portable generators, which are located at CMY.
Okay, because I know I've seen them down at the Van Born location, but maybe we own those internally, but I would like to make sure we're, whenever possible, buying equipment and generators rather than renting on a regular basis.
Understood, and thank you for that, Commissioner Anderson. I know from speaking from the Facilities Management and Planning Department, we're not currently, to Director Jones's point, we're not currently leasing generators. For us, it's more, we rented a high-low until we were able to get the one that we purchased on, into our own facility. So we are looking at purchasing rather than leasing, of course, to be, good stewards of the funds of the county and of its constituents, of course. So that is one of our initiatives. But to your specific question, that we're not, at least through our department, through this contract, it is not intended to lease those, to lease generators.
And this equipment is strictly for equipment rental that for buildings, washing windows and things like that, or don't we contract out the washing windows?
So specifically, well, I'll let Director Jones answer that. It's based on industrial use of needs, being able to reach our locations inside the buildings and certain things. There is no elevator that actually goes up to the CJC, so therefore a lot of equipment would be used in order to load and offload things on top of the roof.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Killeen? Any additional discussion on the public services report? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries. I have Commissioner Garza as the maker of the motion on item number 8 and Commissioner Hattis as the maker of the motion on items numbers 9 and 10. And from report A, Commissioner Kniezek requested to be the maker of the motion on item number 4.
Thank you. Next item.
We are moving to report C from the Committee on Health and Human Services. There is 1 item listed.
Commissioner Scott?
Move item number 1.
Moved by Commissioner Scott, supported by Commissioner Killeen on the 1 item on Health and Human Services. Any discussion on this 1 item? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item.
We're on report D from the Committee on Audit. There is 1 item listed.
Commissioner Dobb?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move the report for approval.
Been moved by Commissioner Dobb, supported by Commissioner Hattis. Any discussion on the item on the audit report? Okay, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. Next item.
We're on report E from the Committee on Public Safety, Judiciary, and Homeland Security. There are 4 items listed.
Commissioner Clark-Holman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that we receive and file items 1, 2, and 3, and I move approval of item number 4.
Reason approval. It says recommended receive and file.
That's an error, Madam.
Receive and file, item number 1, 2, and 3,
Approve item number.
and approve item number 4.
No, I'm sorry, that's an error. We're approving 3.
Oh, that was an error. It's an error on the way it's written. 3 is for approval. It should be move approval and not receive and file for number 3.
Oh,
Approval
That's
for
an
number
error.
3. It says receive and file. That's an
oh,
error.
it should be approval.
It should be
Yes,
approval,
ma'am.
yes.
Oh, okay, so I need to check. All right. Item 3 is approval, right?
So the motion is to receive and file item 1 and 2, and note the error in the wording on number 3. It should read move
Okay.
approval
All right.
and approval of number 3 and 4. Moved by Commissioner Clark Coleman, supported by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion? Discussion, hearing none. Please vote.
Motion carries.
Okay, next item.
We are moving to report F from the Committee on Government Operations. There are 3 items listed.
Commissioner Clemente.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move all 3 items on the government operations report.
Moved by Commissioner Clemente, supported by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion on the 3 items on the government operations report? Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Next item.
We are on report G from the Committee of the Whole. There are 13 items listed on pages 9 through 13 of the agenda.
All right, we had a committee of the whole meeting on Tuesday where the contracts were presented to us, and we had great discussion on each of the different items that are on the committee of the whole report. I would entertain a motion for these items. Commissioner Kinlock?
Yes, Madam Chair, I move adoption of this report, but let the record reflect that I abstain. I would like to make a motion to approve the items that came out of the Committee of Whole with my vote abstaining on item number 1.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Kinlock and supported by Commissioner Irma Clark Coleman. Discussion, Commissioner Kniezek?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So on Tuesday, we had some of what I call intense fellowship around these issues. And because I was, so strong, and I think pointed in my remarks in front of a large group of people on Tuesday, I also think it's appropriate to have the follow-up conversation in front of that same large group, if only to do right by others. So first, a reminder that when it comes to these projects, to me, it's not an either or. I don't want to poo-poo any of these or take anything away from anybody. All I want to be is a good advocate for my community, in this case, the community of Inkster. And so, while Tuesday was business, right? I've told many folks since the conversation on Tuesday, business is business, and standing on business is what we're all here to do. And I so deeply appreciate the conversations that I've had with folks across the county afterwards, not just here on the commission, from other commissioners who've expressed their interest and their support for the communities in my district, but also from the administration and others. And I think where I failed as a leader in that conversation on Tuesday was to recognize the fact that this stuff doesn't happen overnight. And it has taken an incredible amount of work and lift to get to this point. And so I want to thank our director, Hassan Sheikh, and I want to thank his team for the great work that they've done here as well. So in that spirit, and recognizing the conversations that I've had with folks after the fact, knowing that I think Inkster is a priority for folks moving forward. I want to let my colleagues know how much I appreciate their support, but also to encourage them to join me in supporting all of these projects here today. So thank you, Madam Chair. Appreciate that opportunity.
Thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate those comments. Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just had a clarifying question on item 10. And I wanted to know if we coordinated this program with SIMCA, because we just gave SIMCA a contract for workforce development. And this seems to be workforce development. So can you explain if, are they working together or is this, how does this work? Thank you.
Good morning. Hassan Sheikh, Director of Economic Development. I appreciate Commissioner Knizek for his kind words. And it does take a team, and it takes not only administration, but takes the cooperation of this commission as well as commission staff. So I appreciate this commission, and I appreciate this body, and I appreciate the commission staff for all of your hard work as well. I appreciate the question, Commissioner Baker McCormick. So yes, so in the universe of workforce development, we have the Wayne Link program that's already launched, and it's in operation. But there's other areas in which workforce development needs to be specific, and this is one of those. Echelon is going to be working directly with the Department of Defense, working in cybersecurity, and going to be working to make sure that here in Wayne County, we will have a pipeline and allow for folks to get the training that they need to get into cybersecurity jobs, specifically at the government, high government level. So it's workforce development in a different area. So workforce development is a broad range. SEMCA is going to be operating their programming in their parameters, and this is also in that world of what we're doing around workforce development, as well as small business and entrepreneurship growth.
So I too appreciate the work that you have done and I mean, in this expansive effort. However, I'm still, because I believe that SEMCA in their contract talked to this same training, if I recall correctly. That's why I'm just kind of boggled by, it seems like it's an overlap. Are you saying that they're not doing cyber security?
This is cybersecurity specifically directed towards high-level government and in certain spaces.
So SEMCA is doing something different related to
These are two different.
cyber?
These are two different projects, and what they're doing is different than what this is doing.
Okay, so SEMCA is not doing any cyber security?
Not what Echelon is doing. Echelon is doing it in a different space.
Are they doing any training related to cyber security? That's what I'm
Are you talking about for SEMCA specifically? SEMCA.
Point of order,
So,
Madam Chair.
no, so SEMCA is not doing cybersecurity training.
Okay, that's all I was trying to clarify. Were they overlapping?
No.
My understanding, and I thought I recalled that they were doing cyber security training.
Yeah, and I want to clarify, as well, that Echelon was not one of the groups that SEMCA had spoken to
Okay,
as a
great.
subcontractor.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
During our meeting on Tuesday, these items that are before us now fell into 4 different pots, if you will: education, workforce development, housing, and parks and rec. And that's kind of theme that we've been going through with most of our ARPA and then third SLRP dollars. So I'm glad to see we're keeping within that theme to make sure we're doing housing, affordable housing, I should say. Parks and rec is always important to make sure that we're giving our residents space to recreate in beautiful surroundings. Workforce development obviously is very important. And then education, we want to make sure that we're doing things that's going to educate our community, especially our young people. So I appreciate you continuing to focus on those 4 items. Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. While you're here, Hassan, I just wanted to ask, when should we expect the report on how many projects were turned down for whatever reason and an explanation? I mentioned it on Tuesday, and I just wanted to find out if we have some kind of a timeline.
Absolutely. I appreciate that question, Commissioner. So right now, as we mentioned at the COW as well, we have more projects coming through the pipeline as well. So once we go and get everything, in front of you all, then we can kind of actually figure out from that list who are the definitive no's. Once we get that, then we can get that in front of you all. So that should be coming towards you all as soon as possible, very shortly, as we're already starting to work through those contracts and getting them through the system.
I appreciate that, and I'd look forward to seeing a little more spreading out of the projects that all of the county has touched. That's possible, provided they are able to do their share, the communities. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to have number 12, Hamtramck Conservancy.
But you want to be the maker of the motion for that one?
Yes.
Okay,
please. Thank you.
duly noted.
Baker on 6, please, item number 6.
Baker McCormick on 6. Thank you. Commissioner Garza?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just want to be listed as an abstention for item number 4 and the maker of the motion of item number 9.
Madam
Sir,
Chair. point of-
Commissioner Kinlock.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'm going to withdraw my motion for subsequent motion to be made, under the
Vice Chair.
advice of council.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydun?
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to move items 1 through 13 from the committee, I'm sorry, from the committee as a whole for
Thank-
approval.
Thank you. The motion from Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydun is to move all the items on committee of the whole, which is 1 through 13. Commissioner Kinlock was the original maker of the motion. He withdrew his motion. It was now submitted by Commissioner Baydun and supported by,
I was the second.
okay, and we could remain the second on Commissioner Clark Coleman. Any additional discussion on the committee of the whole report? Commissioner Clark Coleman.
Would like to be the maker of the motion on item number 7. And item number item number 11.
7?
Mhm.
And I would also like to be the co-maker of number 11.
Oh, I'm sorry, and item number 5.
And 5, 11, and 7. Okay, thank you. We have that. Commissioner Kinlock.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to abstain. Let the record reflect I'm abstaining on item number 1 and would like to be the maker of the motion for item number 3.
Any additional discussion on the committee of the whole report? Commissioner Marecki.
I'd like to be a no on number 3.
Chair.
Duly noted. Commissioner Anderson.
Likewise, I'd like to be the no vote, recorded as a no vote on number 3. More information that I was able to put together. Thank you.
Noted. Any additional discussion on the committee of the whole report? And if you don't mind, we do have some of the contractors here, if they want to stand just to be recognized. They came out on Tuesday for any discussion, and they're here as well. Thank you for coming out twice this week. We appreciate your support and dedication to Wayne County.
Madam Chair, we also have them on Zoom.
Oh, and on Zoom. Thank you. On Zoom as well. We appreciate you. Thank you. All right, please vote.
Madam Chair.
Hold on.
Hold on. I have an issue with the agenda because I was early in the meeting at the committee of the whole and I have to leave in the middle of the meeting. But on the agenda was item for the city of Wayne for $1,250,000 for Gowdy Park, and I didn't see it on this agenda. So in my understanding, the agenda was approved in the committee of the whole, but the item for the city of Wayne, it's not here.
I don't believe it was on the agenda, that particular item. I think it might be on an upcoming agenda, but not on committee of the whole on Tuesday. Mr. Shank?
Commissioner Hedges, I'll give you a conversation after this meeting. We can discuss, but it was not on the cow agenda. It was not on the cow agenda. We can have I'll converse with you after the meeting, sir.
Okay, I think we're in the middle of a vote. Please vote on the committee of the whole items.
Thank you. Motion carries. And I have Commissioner Marecki as a no on item number 3, Commissioner Anderson as a no on number 3, Commissioner Garza as an abstention on 4, Commissioner Kenlock as an abstention on number 1. Makers of the motion, Commissioner Kenlock, number 3, Commissioner Scott, number 12, Commissioner Baker McCormick, number 6, Commissioner Garza, number 9, Commissioner Clark Coleman, 5, 7, and 11, and Chair Bell, item 11.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. And again, thank you to all who came down again to support your items. Congratulations, and we look forward to the ribbon cuttings and for these being transformative projects in our community throughout Wayne County. Thank you. Next item.
We are on Report H from the Committee on Ways and Means. It's on your second addenda. There are 3 items listed.
All righty. Does everyone have the second addenda?
Don't.
Can you give Commissioner Commissioner Scott the second addenda, please?
Yes.
Good, got it? All right. Second addenda, Report H, Committee on Ways and Means. Again, this is the apportionment committee or the apportionment commission meeting. So that those items were discussed this morning at Ways and Means. Commissioner Kinlock.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As we do annually, per the Michigan law, we have to approve the tax levy for the county. Madam Chair, I would like to ask if Scott Vandermergel, if he's present.
Is.
Yeah. To step forward. You gonna do that?
Go ahead, Scott.
Good morning. Scott Vandermergel, Director of Assessment and Equalization for Wayne County. In accordance with the statutory function of the County Commission, of which there are 2 functions, equalization of assessments, which takes place in April, 6 months ago, and apportionment of tax rates. The annual tax rate apportionment meeting reflects the perfection of the tax lien on all of the taxing entities within the county. There are 104 of them. They report the tax rates to the county commission. The county commission, by delegation to its technical advisor, the equalization department, reflects the review of those tax rates to ensure that they have legal standing to be levied and that they're appropriately reduced in accordance with the Hadley Amendment for the Constitution of the state. And the report provides for the spread of the tax rates upon the taxable value of the respective taxing entities. So there is a number of things that are at play that are summarized and aggregated into the apportionment report. And it's a function of the county commission to take the apportionment, spread that, and make that an official levy of taxes as the final step in the process annually.
Yes, Scott, as you said this morning, and as you gave that great communication last year, that memo you sent around, without this action, there isn't a levy.
That's correct. It would be an imperfect levy. So this is the final process. I mean, anyone can, just broadly speaking, anyone can put a tax on the tax bill and send it out. But for that to have legal standing and for that to be a durable tax lien with the county treasurer, where that delinquent tax roll is purchased by the county treasurer from the local treasurer, this is what makes it a valid in legal tax. So it's not just a mechanical application of a tax to a tax roll. It's the actual formalization and legal standing to make that tax have effect on the taxable property.
Thank you. Thank you, Scott.
Are there any additional questions while Scott is here? Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydun.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Scott, for just the benefit of the people who are in the chamber and people who are watching on Zoom, Can you just tell us again, what is the millage rate being levied by Wayne County this year?
Get that in front of me. The millage rate that was levied on the summer, there's, the county's millage is in 5 portions. The general operating millage, the charter millage is levied in the summer, and that was 5.5913. And that was already approved by resolution prior to the July 1st tax levy. The other agenda item for Ways and Means in full board now is and this is related to the apportionment report, but it's actually something separate, is the levy for the winter roll for December 1st. And it consists of 4 items, which is the Soldiers and Sailors Veterans Relief Fund. And then there are 3 extra voted items. So collectively, that's 2.1555 mils. So the county has a levy in summer and winter and in 2 pieces. And then as noted, the winter levy includes 3 extra voted items.
And again, for the benefit of our viewers who are listening, the 5.9 has been this rate for a long time. The county has not increased this millage rate for a long time, correct?
Correct. Not only has it not increased it, but that millage had originally in 1981, when the charter was first put into effect, it was 6.07 mils, and that has incrementally been reduced annually as appropriate per the terms of the Headley Amendment. So the Headley Amendment, without going into a long technical discussion, it constrains the amount of growth in the tax base to the rate of inflation after certain adjustments for additions and demolitions. But that's why the tax rate is progressively declining, because that has a commensurate effect on the increase in the taxable value of the tax base of the county.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional questions for Scott while he's here? Mr. Kinlock, did you want to discuss any other items on your report?
So Madam Chair, thank you, Scott, for your presentation and answering of questions. And at this time, Madam Chair, I move approval of the entire report, which has been the entire report. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Committee on Ways and Means, Report H, items 1, 2, and 3 has been moved and supported by Commissioner Haydus. I'm sorry, the system is down, so we have to raise hands again.
Commissioner Garza.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Garza had it first. I'm sorry, Commissioner Haydus. Yeah. Okay, any further discussion on the Ways and Means report? Okay, you have the roll call?
No, we're.
Are we up?
We're good.
We're good? Okay. Please, you got something else, Commissioner Kinlock? Okay, all right, please vote. Let's stay on the second addenda so that we don't have to go back and forth.
Commissioner Baker. Motion carries.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you so much.
We're doing item number 3, Madam Chair.
Yes, on the second addenda.
Okay, we are on item number 3 on the second addenda under offering of all petitions, ordinances, resolutions, and presentations. There's a resolution by Commissioners Bell and Kinlock recognizing the importance of American workers and celebrating any substantial investment in Michigan Carpenters and Millwrights Pension Fund.
Commissioner Kinlock.
Yes, Madam Chair. The resolution before you is recognizing recognizing the action that is being taken by the Biden-Harris administration to basically substantially invest $635 million into the Michigan Carpenters and Millwright Pension Fund. The Michigan Carpenters and Millwrights have long demonstrated an unwavering dedication to investing in the skills and training of their members, ensuring that we have a highly qualified and capable pool of skilled trade workers. By securing the future of this pension fund, the administration is not only providing financial stability for the current retirees, but also laying the groundwork for the next generation of workers. This resolution, as you see before you, is basically commending and joining in with the city and state, and recognizing this great contribution and support of working families. I so move the adoption of the resolution.
Support. Supported by Commissioner Clark Coleman. Commissioner Clark Coleman?
Yes, I'd like to be added to that. Their training center happens to be in my district.
Right, and they do wonderful work there. Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Kinlock, supported by Commissioner Clark Coleman, and we will open up for other commissioners to add on after the vote. Any discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
You're ready, let us know when you can open it up for other sponsors.
The board is now open for co-sponsors. Co-sponsors duly noted.
Okay, thank you so much. Let us go back to page 13 of the original agenda, please. 13, the upcoming meetings.
We're on page 14, Madam Chair, upcoming meeting.
It said 13. Oh, my package said 14. Okay, upcoming meetings, wherever they are.
We are on page 14 of the agenda, upcoming meetings.
Please note the upcoming meetings. And please note that we will not have full board again until November 6th. So it'll be 3 weeks. Okay, the 7th. November 7th, so it'll be 3 weeks before we have full board again. So please note the upcoming meetings. Commissioner Dobb?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We will be postponing the Committee on Audit.
Note that. Commissioner Kinlock?
Madam Chair, we will be postponing the Committee on Ways and Means.
Noted as well. Next item.
On new business immediate consideration items, there are 2 listed on the agenda and 3 on the first addenda. Item number 1 is requesting commission approval of a 3-year comparable source grant services contract between the Charter County of Wayne and Multifamily Coalition for Affordable Housing.
Okay, this was actually one of the items that was discussed during the Committee of the Whole, but we did not have enough information to process it for the Committee of the Whole meeting. So it is here on immediate consideration. They did discuss it at that meeting on Tuesday. Are there any questions on that? And it looks like Director Shake left, but I was going to say them back. Are there any questions on item number 1? And we'll take all of these 2 together. Any questions on item number 1? Okay, the second item.
Item number 2 is requesting commission approval of a retroactive 3-year, 3-month professional services contract between the Charter County of Wayne and Metropolitan Life Insurance Company.
Is there someone from the administration to discuss this, please? Hello.
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Discuss this, please, ma'am.
So my name is Precious Walton. I am the Assistant Division Director of the Benefits Division. I come before you today for a retroactive contract with Metropolitan Life in Wayne County. The dates for this contract is, it is effective as October 1, 2024, and it will go to December 31st, 2027. So with this contract, this is for Wayne County to be able to provide not only basic life and accidental death and dismemberment insurance to its active employees, but also to the basic life for the retirees. This also includes supplemental life for spouses, dependents, and accidental life and dismemberment as well.
All right, any questions on this? Pretty much our life insurance contract with MetLife. Any questions? Thank you. We have 3 more items on the other addenda that we could go through as well for immediate consideration.
Item number 3 is requesting commission approval of amendment number 2 to a 1-year contract with 2 1-year options to renew between the Charter County of Wayne and Creative Breakthroughs.
Who's to speak to this contract, please?
Good morning, Ryan Hayes, Division Director of Computing and Infrastructure. Basically, this contract is for Accenture to monitor logs that we send them from our firewall and our antivirus products.
To do what now?
Sorry. It's a third-party company that monitors the logs from our firewall and from our antivirus products to alert us for any anomalous activity that they might find.
And this needed to come before us today because?
I'm more of the technical side of this, I'm sorry.
You don't know why this is before us. Okay, no problem. I'll go ahead, young lady.
Cheryl Reuter from IT. So this expired the end of the month, and we just want to make sure that we can continue to provide services.
This this expired August 30th, and we are October 17th or so? So for the last 2 weeks, have we had coverage?
Yes, they have provided us an extension for us while we work.
And this contract will now take us for a year or exercising the 1-year option? Right. Any discussion on Creative Breakthroughs and the 1-year option that they are asking us to approve? All right, thank you. Next item.
Item number 4 is requesting commission approval of retroactive payment of $76,266.28 for a 3-year contract with a 2-year option to renew that expired on April 12, 2022 between the Charter County of Wayne and AT&T.
You're up again, I believe.
Ferreira here also, but this is a contract that we have been working on. This is just for final payment for SCADA services through DPS with AT&T.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Ferreira. I'm the Assistant Division Director for DPS Environmental Services Division. Basically, this is to pay final invoices to AT&T for SCADA services, which is supervisory control and data acquisition of our CSO basins and our Rouge Valley sewer system. Basically, the system is for use for controlling and monitoring and analyzing the infrastructure and the CSO basins. And the reason we're asking for immediate consideration is that AT&T is basically stating that they will interrupt services for all of the county services that they provide if we do not pay these final invoices. And the reason that the final invoices were not paid previously is we had a lot of disputes with the bills and had to go through analyzing them. And after back and forth, credits were applied and they finally provided us with the final invoices.
Council, do you want to add anything to that? I know this has been going on back and forth for quite a while.
Through the chair to this honorable body, I would just have commissioners note that this is the payment of invoices. It is not a contract amendment. Generally, you have a contract amendment that authorizes the services, the amount, and then the payment is issued. Just because of the nature of this and the dispute that took place, these are actually invoices that we're authorizing.
Thank you, Council. Any questions on this item? Any questions? And then number 5 is another AT&T.
Yes. Item number 5 is requesting commission approval of retroactive amendment number 11 to a 3-year comparable source contract with 2 one-year options to renew between the Charter County of Wayne and AT&T Enterprises, not to exceed $457,200, extending the term of the contract to continue to provide Centrex landline, telephone, and disconnection services.
Who's speaking to this?
So again, yes, this is to continue to provide our legacy services that we have through AT&T.
Our legacy services?
Well, that's what we call them, that Ryan can speak to the technical part of it. But POTS lines, plain old telephone systems. And we do have.
Speak in the mic, please. for
Oh,
me.
sorry. We do have an inventory project on this particular contract that we're hoping not to have to renew this again after this year.
These are for our telephone lines throughout the county.
Older telephone lines throughout the county. These are for analog lines. A majority of the county has moved over to voice over IP. Some county facilities still have some legacy phone lines, which is what we're putting this contract forward for.
So after October of next year, all of our phones will be voice over?
We have several ongoing projects right now to move these legacy services to voice over IP. So those projects will continue throughout the year, and our goal is to have everything migrated off these legacy lines as quickly as possible.
Okay, any questions on item 5? Okay. I will entertain a motion for immediate consideration items 1 through 5.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Baydun, supported by,
We have a motion of support.
oh, my screen doesn't really show that. Okay. I see, okay, now it's up. Kinlock and supported by Jesus?
Yes.
Okay. Something weird just happened. Okay, any further discussion on these immediate consideration items 1 through 5? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Okay. Next item, please.
We are on page 16 of the agenda, testimonial resolutions and certificates of appreciation. There are 6 items listed.
Okay, is there a motion? Moved by Commissioner Hayden, supported by Commissioner Marecki. Any discussion on these items? Any discussion on these items? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Next item, please.
We are on item C, memoriams. There are 2 names listed.
Names to be added to memoriams, Commissioner Clark Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to add the name of Edward, most commonly known as Ed Vaughn, who passed away October 8th at his hometown in Dothan, Alabama. For those who are not familiar with Ed, he, first of all, I served with Ed in the Michigan House Representative. Ed Vaughn was a businessman, a community organizer, an author, an entrepreneur, a civil rights leader, an activist, a mentor, a politician, a visionary, a historian, an educator, a trailblazer, and playwright. And he was from Dothan, Alabama. And after he retired from the Michigan House, he moved back to Dothan, Alabama, where he remained. But just want to add, some people might remember him back in 1965. Ed opened Vaughn's Bookstore in Detroit. It was the first Black-owned bookstore in Detroit and the second in the United States. Vaughn's Bookstore became a hub for Black intellectuals and activists such as Rosa Parks and poet Nikki Giovanni. Just want to send our condolences to his son Eric, who has a shop on Livernois, and it's called Eric, I've Been Framed. He does excellent framing. So I requested a resolution, and if you do not want your name on that resolution, please let me know by the end of the day.
Ed Vaughn was certainly a trailblazer here in Detroit, and as you stated, his son does excellent work right there at Eric's I've Been Framed on Livernois. I've been there several times. So we give our condolences absolutely to the Vaughn family. Thank you. Commissioner Scott.
I give my condolence to the family also. Ed was my longtime friend.
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, he was my seatmate at one time when we were in the House of Representatives. We used to do a little shopping together up in Lansing when I stayed up there on those nights. Ed liked to go to those resale shops. He was just an immaculate dresser.
Yeah.
Yes, just a wonderful man. And I guess it must have been about 3 or 4 months ago that I talked to him. I called him. We always had this little joke because Ed also ran for the Senate, you know, and I told him at least he was able to go home and be with his family and stuff, you know. And Ed used to travel almost every month. He would go back down to Dothan when his parents were alive, you know. Yeah. His father was a butcher, and had a sister and his mother, and they all preceded him, you know. So, yeah, we had some great conversations. So.
By the way, Ed Vaughn was 90 years old when he passed.
So anyway, I'm glad Irma's doing the resolution, and I'm gladly be a part of it.
Certainly a legend in Detroit.
Yes.
And Alabama too.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Any additional, Commissioner Dobb?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to add the name of Asifa Ahmed. She was the mother of Amina Ahmed, who is the newest member of the Plymouth Canton Community Schools School Board. And she passed away, I believe, yesterday.
Well, thank you, Commissioner. Any additional names? Okay. We could have a moment of silence that everyone in the chambers could please stand. Thank you so much. Keeping the families of everyone who passed away in our prayers. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Public comments.
Is there anyone on Zoom for public comments today? Anyone on Zoom for public comments? Any cards from anyone in the chamber?
No cards were received.
Anyone in the chamber for public comments? Any emails, Madam Clerk?
One email was received.
Okay.
Dear Commissioners, it's from Anthony Plessia. Dear Commissioners, please stand up against the Biden administration's efforts to cede U.S. sovereignty to the World Health Organization via amendments to the International Health Regulations and the Pandemic Preparedness Treaty. The WHO has already adopted the IHR amendments illegally and is continuing to work on the treaty. Please restrict funding to any county department that enforce World Health Organization edits. Remember, in Federalist 33, Alexander Hamilton wrote that lower-level governments have the right to treat acts by the federal government that are not pursuant to the Constitution as acts of usurpation.
Thank you so much. Next item,
Reconsiderations,
there are none.
remarks by members,
All right, are there any remarks by members? No remarks by members? You all must be tired. Any remarks by members? Okay, we'll have a few. Want to identify a couple of birthdays. Our very own Joe's birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, Joe.
birthday.
Woo. Pam Lane, our clerk's birthday is Sunday, the 19th. Happy birthday,
Pam Lane.
And Saturday night, I don't know no dates. Saturday and the whole weekend she'll be celebrating. And then Commissioner Baker McCormick, she will have a birthday before we meet again on November 6th, because our meeting is on November 7th. So I want to wish her a happy birthday as well. Let me also congratulate our very own Detroit Detroit Police Office Chief James White on his new appointment or elected to the DWIN as CEO. He will be certainly missed on the Detroit Police Department because he was doing an excellent job there. But those of you who know him, behavioral health is in his heart. He spoke about it all the time on how he's incorporated that into the police department. So we look forward to what he's going to be able to do at DWIN as the new head of that organization. But he will be sorely missed as police chief of the Detroit Police Department. So if you see Chief White, tell him congratulations. Any other announcements before I adjourn? Let me just say one thing, just so everybody can put it on their schedule. Let me look really quick. For scheduling purposes, in December, we are scheduled to have our full board meeting on the 5th. However, that meeting will be moved to Tuesday, December 3rd. So if you can put that on your agenda, December, our first meeting will be on Tuesday, December 3rd. So just note that for your planning. Here. Nope, the last meeting in December will be on the 19th still. December 19th. Which is on there already, and we will keep that meeting on the 19th, the last meeting of the year, December 19th. And the first meeting will be December 3rd, which is a Tuesday. Commissioner Clark-Holman.
Yeah, I'm looking at.
Your schedule for your committee meetings.
Yes.
All committee meetings will be on the 26th. All committee meetings will be on this 26th. It will come out, but for planning purposes, we will have a marathon of committee meetings from 9 to 3 on the 26th.
So we won't have a meeting on that Tuesday.
Nope.
No committee meeting.
Full
Okay.
board will be on that Tuesday, December 3rd. And all committee meetings prior to that will be on Tuesday, November 26th. All committee meetings. To prepare for December 3rd. Right. All right, that's all that I have. Yes, Commissioner Anderson.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to mention the CJC Special Committee will be meeting today after.
CJC meeting will be
Noon.
meeting today at
Thank you.
12 noon? Okay, at 12 noon. And there will be cake on the 8th floor for our birthdays. Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn? All right,